Python has a rich library, functions and predefined functions. Two ways to use a Python interpreter. We call that as a interactive mode and the script mode. An ordered set of instructions to be executed by a computer to carry out a specific task. We call that as a program. Py is the extension to save the Python programs. Where it will be saved? It will be saved in the Python installation folder. Hello everyone, myself Jayashree Chandru, Faculty Department in Computer Science, Vidyashram, Pre-University College, Temple of Excellence, Mysuru. Welcome back to the one more interesting session, Chapter 5, Getting Started with Python. Before going in depth with the session, let us understand what is the marks weightage of this chapter. So the marks weightage of this chapter is 18 marks. So the segregation of marks is like this: MCQ 1 mark 3 question, short answer 2 marks 1 question, 3 marks 1 question, 5 marks essay and 1 hot question will be like 2 questions, 5 marks. Total it is 18 marks. So topics covered under this chapter in this session is the introduction to the Python, features of Python will be learning, working with Python, execution modes, Python keywords, Python identifiers and the variables. So now let us understand what is a program and programming language. A programming language is a set of instructions to be executed by a computer to carry out a specific task. We call that as a program. Then what is a programming language? The language which specifies this set of instructions to the computer is called as the programming language. Next, the introduction to Python. So who developed the Python, in which year the Python got emerged, and what exactly the Python means, let us understand. So the Python language was developed by the person Guido van Rossum in a year 1991. It is a high-level programming language. So Python programming language uses an interpreter, that is, to convert its instructions to the machine language so that it can be understood by the computer. It uses the interpreter which converts the instructions to the machine language so that it can be understood by the computer. So the features of the Python, let us understand. So Python is a high-level language and it is a free and a open source language. Python is a case-sensitive language. For example, class and class are not the same because class is in the lower case, this class is in the upper case. So both are not the same according to it. So it is not the same in the Python. So it is case sensitive. Next feature, Python programs are easy to understand and as they have a clearly defined syntax and relatively simple structure. Syntax means the set of protocols to write a programming language. We call that as a syntax. That is rules or the protocols what we call. So Python is a portable and platform independent. What do you mean by a platform independent? Means it can run on various operating systems and the hardware platforms. It can run on the various operating systems like Windows, Mac OS, Linux, Unix, etc. So Python has a rich library, functions and predefined functions, and Python uses an indentation for blocks and the nested blocks. So these are the set of features of the Python. Next, how exactly the working with Python takes place, how exactly you have to work. So let us understand. To write and run or execute a Python program, we need to have a Python interpreter which has to be installed on our computer. As I told you, it is a free and a open source software. We can use any online Python interpreter also. or the interpreter is also called as a Python shell. That interpreter we call it as a Python shell. So here in the below figure, I'll show you like how exactly the Python interpreter will appear. So this is a Python shell, how it appears when you install the Python. So this we call it as the interactive mode. What exactly the interactive mode I'll be explaining. So in the above screen, you're seeing the prompt. This we call it as the arrows, we call it as the Python prompt. Okay. So which indicates that the interpreter is ready to take the instructions from the user. Whatever the instructions we give, the Python prompt will show you that it is ready for the instructions. In a sense, like it is ready for the instructions to take. So in the next slide, you will be seeing like execution modes. We have two types of execution modes, two ways to use a Python interpreter. We call that as a interactive mode and the script mode. What is interactive mode? We will learn. So to work with the interactive mode, we can simply type a Python statement on the prompt, what I told you, this Python prompt directly. As soon as we press enter, immediately like interpreter will execute the statement and display the result. We call this as an individual statement. It will translate and it will display in a single line statement. Example, in the figure you can see here, 2 plus 5 I have given. So this is a Python prompt, already I have explained. So here you can see 2 plus 5. Immediately I'll get the result. So this is interpreting. This line is getting interpreting. Same way 2 into 6. So same way this is how it will keep on printing. So this we call it as the interactive mode. Next, we have a script mode. What is a script mode? In the script mode, we can write a Python program in a file where you can save it. But in the interactive mode, in a previous slide what I showed you, we can't save that. In a one-time view, you can view and it will interpret, it will give the result. But in the script mode, you will type it in one file where you can save that file for the further use and interpreter to execute it. So Python scripts are saved as the files where the file name is saved with the extension .py. You can save the file name with the extension .py. By default, the Python script are saved in the Python installation folder. In the script mode, what happens? We can write a Python program in one file and we can save that. Next, we can compile, we can run. So this is used for the lengthier programs. Their interpreter, it is only for the single line. So here, whole program will be compiled, interpret and it will execute. So it is saved in the .py extension. What is this .py extension? Example, sample .py. You can save the file name like this. So py is the extension to save the Python programs. Where it will be saved? It will be saved in the Python installation folder. So now let us understand how exactly it will work. To execute a Python program in the script mode, you need to click on the run, that is a run module in the window, and the menu, or you can press F5 function key from the keyboard. So this is one step. So steps to run the Python program in a script mode, let us see. Open a Python IDLE, that is a interpreter window. So click on a file, new, or you can directly use a shortcut key, that is Ctrl+N, to open the window. A new window will get open. So type the commands and the programs, you can save your file as I told you. So execute or run by pressing F5, or you can click on the click run and the run module. Okay. So that is about the script mode. Next, we have a Python keywords. What is this exactly the Python keyword means? The keyword we call it as a reserved word. So each keyword has a specific meaning in a Python. Each keyword has a specific meaning in a Python interpreter, and we can use a keyword in our program only for the purpose which has been defined. So we have a set of keywords. Here I have taken few keywords as an example. A keyword like false, class, return, true and while, if, or, so etc. These are some of the keywords. So keywords are a reserved word that each keyword has a specific meaning in a Python where it has to be defined in the interpreter. Only there we have to define. So the purpose for which it has been defined. Okay. So next we have an identifier. What is an identifier? So in a programming language, identifiers are nothing but the names which are used to identify a variable or an entity what we give. So variable or a function or other entities in a program. Identifier are nothing but a names what we give used to identify one variable or a function or other entities in a program. So this is about the identifier. Of course, we have a set of rules for naming an identifier in the program. So what are the set of rules that we need to know before identifying an identifier in a Python or naming an identifier in a Python? Let us see one by one. So the name of the identifier always, like, it should begin with an uppercase or a lowercase alphabet. You need to keep this in mind, or an underscore sign. This is an underscore sign. So this may be followed by any kind of combination of characters like A to Z, that is a lowercase of A to Z, and uppercase A to Z, 0 to 9, or underscore. Thus, an identifier cannot start with a digit. Of course, it has to start with a letter, then with a combination of a digit. It can't start with a digit. So that is what they mean. So identifier cannot start with a digit. Next rule, it can be of any length. It should not be a reserved keyword. Keywords, as we got to know in a previous slide, what is a reserved keyword. Keyword cannot be an identifier name. So that is what they are mentioning. Reserved word like which are mentioned in the above example. As I told you, it cannot be like break or false or true or for, if. These are some of the reserved keywords. So keyword cannot be an identifier. We cannot use the special symbols like @ hash, dollar symbol, percentage, etc. in an identifier. So these are some of the rules for naming an identifier. So examples for the valid identifier and the invalid identifier here have given. So num1 is a valid identifier. So here I have started with a letter, the word, that is what. Next I have used the digit. So num1 is a valid one. Next the percentage, the valid. Mark 1, student underscore mark, STU in a sense, it's a student marks, underscore marks have given. So in the next example you're seeing the invalid examples, that is an invalid identifier. See, it cannot start with the digit underscore num. The reason, starting from the digit, it cannot start. Marks @1, 2, 3. Using a special characters when you're naming an identifier should not happen. And pass, the reason, it is a keyword. It is a reserved keyword. So keywords also you need to keep in your tongue tips. So student age, the reason is space is given here. So space cannot happen. So all these criteria you need to keep in mind, you need to observe before naming an identifier. So these are the few examples which I have mentioned here. So next let us understand what is a variable. So variable in a program is uniquely identified by a name. Of course, we call it as an identifier also. So variable in a Python refers to an object, that is an item or an element that is stored in one memory. So the value of a variable can be, example, that is a string or a numeric or any combination of alphanumeric characters. So where exactly the value will be stored in a particular memory, that is nothing but your variable or a identifier. So in a Python, we can use an assignment statement to create a new variables to assign a specific values to them. So example, gender is equal to M. M in a sense the male or a female, like within the codes we need to give. Message is equal to keep smiling, that is with the double quotes. Price, the price what I have given. So these are some of the examples like how you give a variable name. So example I have taken here, the program to display a values of variables in a Python. So now let us see like how to write a Python basic program to display the values of variables in a Python. That here I have taken this hash, this we call it as a comments which will not take it as a program lines. So message is equal to keep smiling. Print this message, the message will be printed. User number, okay, the print double quotes user number. So output will be like this. So you need to keep in mind when we are applying this particular lines, it has to be in the double quotes, not for the integers, only for the character or the string values what we are giving. So keep smiling, user number is 101. 101 I have given, it as displayed. You can give any number. So you need to keep this in mind. User number is, this is what the output statement it is getting designed. The print is to print the output. Here print message. Print is to print this message. Okay. So this is the like variable what I am taking, and variable values here what I am taking. Okay. So in one more example, let us see the area, like program to find the area of a rectangle given that its length is 10 units and the breadth is 20 units. So let us see the program. Length I have taken the value of 10, breadth is 20, area of the rectangle, that is L into B. So it calculates the L into B. Here I have taken only print area. So the output statement. So here it will display 10 into 20, that is 200. Okay. So this is about one more program just to represent how the variable will work. Okay, now let us understand what is a comments in a Python. Comments are used to just add a remark or a note to the source code. What is a source code? The language which is written in a high level language in a computer, we call that as a source code. Comments are not executed by the interpreter. So in Python, the comment starts with the hash. In the previous examples, as I mentioned, the hash I have written, and I have written as program to display so and so. So that hash, when it starts, it will not run by the interpreter, which will not executed by the interpreter. Everything following with the hash till the end of that line, it is treated as the comment. That is a remark or a note what we live. And the interpreter simply it will ignore when it is executing that statement, or when that particular line when it is converting, when the interpreter is converting, just it will ignore, knowing that it is a comment. So it has to start with the hash. So the variable amount is the total spending on the grocery amount. So this is how the comments we need to give. Okay. So next we will learn about, like, everything is an object. What exactly the object? Python treats every value or a data item, whether it is numeric, string or other type, as an object. Everything is being treated as the object. So every object in Python is assigned a unique identity which remains the same for the lifetime of the object in the Python. Everything, whatever it is assigned uniquely, like it identifies, which remains the same till the end, that is till the lifetime of that particular object. So the function ID returns to identify an object. So function ID is what? It identifies the object throughout the program or throughout the lifetime of that particular object. So this we call as everything is an object. So this ends this session. In the upcoming session, we learn more about getting started with Python with more interesting topics. Thank you.